Hey, what's going on, YouTube family? It's Richard. Excuse me. And something seems a little fuzzy. Whatever. We're gonna roll with it. So, today's conversation is about let's see, what is this? Goals and habits. So, uh, really, what? I don't understand. I face you too. um, let's see. Today's conversation. I'm reading comments for those of you who might be watching a little bit later. Um, so today's conversation is about goals and habits, and I guess what kind of sparked this conversation, or the reason why I decided to do goals and habits today, is because I started thinking about yesterday's live stream, where we kind of talked about existentialism. We talked about what is the purpose of life, and we had like an hour 15-minute conversation about kind of what is the purpose of life. And I love this topic, but I want to focus a little bit more on a little bit more of a niche level. So that would be, I want to talk about I guess on the day-to-day, goodness, this conversation of the purpose of life is, can get deep. Little brown girl, Jazz, big dreams. Nice. Thanks for the the emojis and stuff. Hilarious. All right, so the reason why I'm bringing up this conversation is because I think, in a way, a lot of us are kind of struggling to figure out what is the purpose of life, and it's one of those questions that is like, how do you answer that? You just there's so many different answers, or maybe some people do have an answer. Maybe people are like, they've already made a decision that this is, A is the purpose of life, or Z, I don't even care to know what the purpose of life. I'm just gonna do me, So who knows? So I want to tap into goals, and I'm talking too much. This is it's two and a half minutes, and I haven't even given the point of this Facebook Live. Goals and habits. The reason why I want to talk about this is because I think every single day we have we are always told to set certain goals for ourselves, and we're always curious of, like, what are the habits of successful people. And I guess in a way, I want to open up about my goals and my habits because they are not perfect. And the purpose of that is, I think, in a way, as humans, at least in my life, and probably many people's lives, our goals and our habits will fluctuate. They don't always stay constant. I think consistency is a great thing to have, and it's definitely something I get to work on. But I'm in a space where I can't say I'm currently the most consistent person in terms of habits, and doing all the positive habits, that I quote unquote should be doing. So let's see. That's why I watched this video. Okay, cool. I have reading comments. Let's see. Okay. So I'll start with habits. In my past streams, I've talked about some of my habits that I have, in terms of, things that are good to do but I'm not currently doing, and things that I am doing. Currently, in terms of habits, I'm going to give a brief recap because I mentioned it in previous lives, or at least I think yesterday's live I mentioned some habits. So habits that I'm currently practicing, I'm honestly not practicing too many of those, like, reading, journaling, meditation, exercise, and visualization, things like that. I'm not on top of all my best practices. The ones I'm currently on top of right now, number one is I just committed to exercising every single day, with my client slash friend. So we are keeping each other accountable to exercise every single day from now until the end of this year, at least. So I mean, my body's a little bit sore, but it's I don't enjoy working out and doing that kind of stuff. But for me, the reason why I'm doing this is because I know I get to, for my own health, and also because when I exercise, I know that my how do I say this? That I will. Ah, goodness, my mind's blanking. That mentally I'll be stronger, and three, when I exercise, it reminds me that to be more conscious about my health in general. So, for example, I exercised yesterday right before going to mentor middle school boys up in Los Angeles, and in the morning they always have donuts. And for the past few months, I haven't really been super conscious of what I'm eating. So, like previously, I have eaten some donuts, and back in the day, I used to stop eating donuts for several years or something like that, just because I don't remember what happened. Like I gave up deep fried foods or something like that. I just stopped eating donuts, and then more recently, I kind of let go of all these Richard rules or whatever habits, and started eating donuts again. However, yesterday, because I worked out in the morning before leaving, I had this idea planted in my head. Man, I just worked out. I just worked really hard to put a workout in, and to eat a donut is like would negate all the work that I did. In terms of working out. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna eat a donut. My eating habits aren't perfect. They're definitely not fantastic or stellar or above average right now. I have had moments in my life where I've eaten very clean, and I want to get back into that. And part of it is kind of like finding that reason. Like what's the purpose of life. It's all this stuff. Another habit I do have is every single morning. Let's see. I mean, we could start talking about diet and stuff like that. So, what do we eat during a day? What does Richard eat during a day? I'm not proud of what I eat right now, and I get to improve upon it. But, I mean, we'll start with the good stuff. So, in the morning, every single morning, I always make I guess you can say a green smoothie, which is, I try to keep it simple. Like I used to put a bunch of 10 different ingredients in a smoothie, including like flax seeds and berries and all these different stuff. And then I've just cut it down to four ingredients plus water. Just like, because I want to keep it super simple, and I could just keep replicating it every single day. So every single morning I drink a green smoothie that has, what I do is I put organic frozen strawberries and blackberries, and then I put water, and then I add organic power greens from Costco. They're it's like a kale and spinach mix or something like that, and then I put organic banana. I didn't even realize everything was all organic, but anyway, I mean, they're cheap enough. Everything's from Costco, so it's amazing. It's super cheap to do. So that's at least somewhat balanced in terms of fruits and vegetables that I have every single morning. But the rest of the day is I'll eat like a frozen breakfast sandwich. It is like a lean breakfast sandwich. Let's see, for lunch, that varies. It could be some sort of frozen food or Subway or something like that. And then for dinner, it's something similar too. It's either like frozen food or Subway. I know that sounds awful. Like the potential girls attracted to Richard, don't watch this video. Like I've had moments in my life where I used to cook food. I don't know. I've just lost that kind of touch and desire to cook food for now. But I mean, this is a conversation about habits. I don't have the most solid habits right now in my life, but I don't know how to say it. It's like I accept myself, but that doesn't give me an excuse to not improve myself. So I acknowledge where I'm at right now, and I get to continue to improve myself along the way. Um, Other habits. Let's see. I mean, brushing my teeth. I don't know, general hygiene stuff. That's, I guess that's kind of self-explanatory or expected in a way. Let's see. Habits. In terms of organizing my life, I want to get to goals soon, and also whatever comments I see. I saw a few comments just coming right now. In terms of organizing my life, I use Google Calendars a lot. I use so Google Calendars has a checklist feature. It only works on desktop, not on mobile, which is kind of unfortunate. But I use my desktop computer a lot. So what I do is, what you could do is you add a task like you know, set up meeting with Bobby, and then you mark it as a task, and it becomes like a little checklist thing. So I like it. It works out really well for me. It keeps me on top of what I have to do. And so that's how I organize my day. And in terms of goals, I will get to my goals in just a second after I read some comments. Let's see. How do you get motivated to go back to school? How many calories? Wait, oh, wow, I totally misread that. Wait, what? No, I didn't. How you get motivated to go back to school? How many calories to cut? How to remember math and English? How to get motivated to go back to school? How many calories to cut? I'm not perfectly clear. Are those two separate questions, or is there a typo in there? There's some how to remember math and English. I'm a little confused on that one. Rico Solis, can you clarify your question? How to get motivated to get back to school? How many calories to cut? So yes, please refine that question. Let me know if that's two separate questions or one, and I'm not catching it. So I'll come back to you in just a second. MMK, I have some questions about becoming a better person. What can I do? MMK, can you give me more specific questions to answer? Because that's a very vague question. You could ask me more questions. I have some questions about becoming a better person. What can I do? What can you do to become a better person? Give me some areas. There's a lot of things you could do to become a better person. You can be nicer to people. You can be more accepting. You can be a person of integrity. You could learn to love, trust, and accept yourself more. There's so many different things you could do. So let's be a little bit more specific what we want to do. Why is there a red bar above? What? Oh, I got very bad connection. I see. Huh. Okay. I don't know. I don't even know what to do. I mean, bad connection. I'm on Wi-Fi right now. I'm on Wi-Fi, but I still have data. So hold on. Let me try shutting off my Wi-Fi, because my data should cover. All right, we're back. Let me know if you could hear me, because it says very bad connection and it keeps flashing in my face like it's. I don't know if you guys could still see me, so let me know if you can still see me. I'm going to assume you can still see me until you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that a lot. Okay, so dude, it is like it's flashing like very bad connection, very bad connection, very bad connection, and then like the top of my bar is like it's red, and I don't know. It looks like it's a huge problem. Okay, let me know if I kind of break up a little bit or something like that. Okay, so Rico Solis, I'm gonna go back to your question. How do you get motivated to go back to school? Okay, so to answer this question, Rico, that's question number one for you. How do you get motivated to go back to school? Really, honestly, it's this is a tough one. It's like, honestly, as much as society says go back to school, stay in school, study, get your degree. Degrees create opportunities. Yes, that's true, but at the same time, it depends where you're at with your life. School is not the only way to succeed in life, and there's, how do I say this? I think our society pushes school on us because as a whole it will benefit society. As a whole, I believe that school does help. Um, it helps our society in the way that a lot of people don't know what to do with their lives, and they're kind of confused. They're trying to find a path, and school is a tool that our society uses to educate people who aren't exactly self-motivated to go somewhere. So I know that became a complete paradox to your question, because you're like, how do I find the motivation to go back to school? So I guess in a way, Rico Solis, the question I would ask you is, so why do you want to go back to school? Like, what is the purpose? I think that's a question you got to answer for yourself. What is the purpose of going back to school? Are you going back to school because your parents are telling you to go to school, or someone else is telling you to go to school? Or are you going to school because you want to make more money, to have a certain career in a certain field, to follow a certain passion? Or, are you going to school because you're just being told to? And my follow-up question is, do you really need to be going to school? And I'm not advocating for you to not go to school, I'm just kind of opening it up so you can kind of think about that, because honestly, I got entrepreneur friends who dropped out of high school to pursue their dreams, and they're making lots of money. That does not apply to everyone. Not everyone is motivated in that way, or has that kind of vision or mindset. Can everyone create that kind of vision and mindset? Sure. I believe everyone has the capability and potential to essentially not go to formal education school and create their own business. It's just, you got to put in the work, and you got to grind hard in that way. I feel like I'm like a perfect example of someone I'm like a struggling entrepreneur in a way. Like, I feel a little bit outside the box, outside the bubble of the entrepreneur space, if I'm being a little bit honest. I'm in it, but I'm also out of it. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I feel in it because I have a lot of entrepreneur friends. I am, quote unquote hustling. I have a business. Speaking business, I'm booking gigs. I'm doing these kind of things, but I'm not making millions of dollars like a lot of my friends are, because they're focused. They understand how to make money. And for me, I just don't have that motivation around money, or at least that's my relationship with money sucks. It's broken. If relationship was a girl, and I was the guy, money and me have some sort of messed up relationship, and we got to work on that communication. So that's what I have to say with that. What was my point in that? So I guess my point in that was really going back to, what is the purpose of you going to school? You get to kind of figure out, what is your motivation? Why do you want to go back to school? So take some time to answer that question. Let me know if you have an answer right now. And second one is, how many calories to cut? I feel like I could support you with this one, because I have lost like 60 pounds in one period of my life, and I kind of understand a little bit. I'm not a nutrition expert, but in terms of how many calories to cut, what's your goal? How much weight are you trying to lose? Are you trying to lose, and how much weight are you trying to lose, and by when? So if you're trying to lose, let's say, like for me, I try to lose 15 pounds in 2.5 months or something like that. With my body weight, I think I was like we'll say I was like 170, and I want to get 170. Let's say, dang it. What is this? 180, 175. I think I was like 175, and then I tried to get down to 160 or something like that in 2.5 months. And in terms of calories, how did I calculate this? I think in terms of calories, I ended up aiming for under, it was either 1600 or 1800, I believe. So I'm just going to say 1700 calories a day. And when I say 1700 calories, it's like, you want to stick with clean foods. So whole foods, food that is real. That means fruits, vegetables, whole grains, things like that. I mean, again, I'm not a nutrition expert or nutritionist, so I'm just giving you very basic information, is just eat real food, stay away from processed foods. I'm not an expert, but I think that's pretty, what is that? obvious, not obvious, what's the word? I can't, practical, obvious knowledge. Common sense, there we go. It's common sense knowledge. Eat healthy foods, you know? So, and also real foods have fewer calories than processed foods. Processed foods are super high in calories. So, like if you eat a cheeseburger or double cheeseburger from Carl's Jr., it could probably be up to like 12 to 1400 calories already, and that's like your whole entire day. So I remember I used to go, my favorite meal, like simple meal, was like black beans, spinach, and egg whites. You know, I just mix them together. So that was one of them. It gets tiring after a while, but if you're super committed and dedicated, then you know it's a decent meal. Yeah, stuff that's low calories. Yeah, no processed foods. But that's it depends on your goals. Alrighty, how to remember math and English. So yes, it's two different questions. Okay, let's see. I could. All right, Rico Solis, let me know if you have any more questions or you know you'd like me to expand. I'm guessing I don't know if English is your first language, and please forgive me. I'm definitely not making fun of you. I don't know if you're shorthanding your comments or you're just English is not your first language. Okay. MMK. So how do I become a better person? Like a better person around my friends and family. So how do you become a better person around your friends and your family? I think a better person is someone who. That's a great question. So I have my own answer, but let me ask you a question, MMK. What do you think? What are some characteristics of a person that is a good friend? You know, so imagine if you had a best friend. You know, let's say either maybe you have a best friend already like this, or your ideal best friend. What are the characteristics of your ideal best friend, or that ideal sibling of yours, or ideal son, whatever it is, and start listing them out. For me, I'll speak for myself. The ideal characteristics I would want in another person would be that they are loyal, they are honest, they are authentic, open, they're vulnerable, they're willing to share their hearts, they're connected, they're present. You know, they're good listeners. They are like, I want to be with people who genuinely care about me. They genuinely care about other people. They genuinely care about the world. They want to give. You know, they're not self-centered. They're not focused on themselves. They're all about giving, and they know that life is not about them. You know, life is about service. So, you know, people who are willing to make time for me. You know, people who are willing to, who have their own life, but they're willing to kind of take time. And I'm not saying give up their life, but like occasionally they'll make little sacrifices because they value the relationship I have with this other person. So those are the traits that I see for a good friend. So whatever traits I just mentioned, now I get to say, okay, all those traits, now that's what I get to do. You know, I get to be that same person that I expect of, you know, that I look for in a friend. So I get to be honest, loyal, connected, present, a good listener. I get to be honest, vulnerable, open. I get to be a giver. I get to be care about other people and make little sacrifices to let other people know that they care. You know, and not be so selfish. So that's who I get to be. So that's who you get to be too. You know, those are my traits, and I'm sure we have some that overlap. But figure out what are your traits that you want from another person, and feel free to type it out, like whatever helps. Because for me, I know sometimes when I'm sitting down by myself, honestly, if I ask myself that question offline, I would have a pretty hard time coming up with the answer in my head, or even try to write it down by myself. So the fact that I have this conversation right now to just express myself right now about what I look for in a friendship helped me figure out what I want. So hopefully that helps you. And thank you for giving me the opportunity too. I appreciate that. All right, let's see. How can I be more social? I kind of hate you all. I kind of hate you all. Got it. I was like, that's the name of the user. I kind of hate you all. How do you be more social? So How do you be more social? Um, I I mean, I would appreciate a little bit more context around this. I'm going to make assumptions. They may or may not be true, and let me know your scenario or your context. But I'm going to assume uh, that you're probably in school. Okay, let me know if I'm wrong. I have no idea because I have no judgment or I have no information that tells me if you're a student or not. But I oftentimes have a lot of students come to my channel, so and adults too. So it's hard to say. How do you be more social? Um, it's a practice. Oh, I see more comments. Okay, let's see. MMK, I'll come back to your comments in just a second. Let's see. Like, I have friends, but not close friends. Sorry about my username. My situation is that I only have friends in school. All right. Chantel Max says same here. Okay, so you got friends, but not close friends. You want to know how to be more social. It also sounds to me like you want to build deeper relationships with people. So I'm just going to give you like a quick heads up. I too struggle with having deep relationships with people. I mentioned this on my stream yesterday, and when I say deep relationships, I could have super deep conversations with people. I could be super open and vulnerable, and I have friends. I have great friends. I have a lot of great friends that I could have super deep conversations about anything. About about money, depression, sex, like whatever. I have those friends. But in terms of deep relationships, where I don't know, where it's just like it's almost like a soul bond, like we're like soulmates as friends. It's one of those like soul brothers or soul sisters, whatever it is. I honestly struggle to find that person where it's like, oh, BFFs for life. Like, I don't have a BFF for life per se. I have a lot of BFFs that I will connect with for the rest of my life. Does that make sense? Like, I have a lot of good friends, but I can't. There's not one that's like on freaking speed dial. I'm gonna call up every single time. My brother is the closest person to that. Like I do talk to my brother very frequently, almost every single day, and I definitely can open up to him, and we do. We talk about everything. So I guess my brother would be the closest thing I have to like a BFF for life. BFF for life. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so let's see. How do you be more social? How do you build those deeper connections? So to answer your question, if you want to, let's start with building deeper connections. I think that's what you're really aiming for. I think how you build deeper connections with someone is you, I guess in a way, stretch your courage muscle and be willing to dig deeper. Be willing to put yourself, put your heart on the line, yourself out there, and talk, have those deeper conversations with people. Talk about your insecurities. I don't know how to say this. It's one of those things where it's like, of course you don't want to like just like throw all your insecurities out on the table and be like, oh my goodness, I'm going through all these problems, please help me. Like that will turn people off. But I think the approach really is, hey, kind of, I don't know, it's like you just gotta build up that relationship. And maybe you have existing ones that are willing to, you can kind of sense that are willing to have a deeper relationship with you. But you just haven't quite gotten there yet. So if let's say relationships take time, so you can start off with the kind of small talk, hang out, casual stuff, common interests. Let's say you both like playing video games or you like sports or whatever it is. So you have those conversations, you hang out during lunchtime, whatever it is. And how you build deeper relationships is you start talking about real stuff. Hey, I know this is kind of embarrassing, but I have a crush on Sarah, and talk about it. Like, do you have any experience, how to approach girls? Like, have conversations, ask for support, and then eventually they will start opening up like, oh shoot, like I also had a crush on not Sarah, but Jane, Um, this is like super awkward conversation tone. And then you just start talking about deeper stuff, you know? You start opening up about things that you before weren't comfortable sharing. And when you open up and connect with people, that's when they want to share and become a better friend with you, because you're invested in, they are invested into the conversation as much as you are. So that's how you build better relationships, is just open up and talk. No one wants to talk about small talk. I agree. I don't know your situation, how old you are, your context. You know, I think in high school, honestly, a lot of people do small talk. A lot of people, I don't know why I just said high school. Like, I know you're in high school. I have no idea how old you are. So, let's see. I think people are afraid to dive deep. You know, dig in. Chantal is. I'm in my high school. Everyone has their own group, and I'm like a nomad. I'm a junior. Oh, hey, look at that. Both of you are in high school. That's awesome. I don't know. I got a little bit of a sense, but you know, I don't have enough information. Okay, so now I do. So you are like a nomad. That's perfect. I was a nomad too. Like, in high school, I was a nomad. Like, I had a lot of friends, but I didn't like really belong to a certain group of friends. However, sophomore year, I decided, you know, I was kind of feeling out of place, so I tried to find a group of friends, and I felt a little weird joining a group, but I did anyway. Sorry, my high school friends, close group of friends, if you are watching this. But it was, you know, like, they're great people. They're great people, and they became my friends for a very long time and still are my friends today. But the honest talk is, I never felt like I found my group of friends that were like, yeah, these are my group of friends. Like, you know, I 100% aligned with them. Don't get me wrong, I still had great friends, but just, you know, like, I still kind of, I wandered around a lot, you know, trying to find my group of people. And honestly, even till this day, I feel like I do the same thing. You know, I don't have a core group of friends that is like, hey, you know, like, we're BFFs, you know, I'm going to do every single live video with them. I hang out with them all the time. I hang out with a lot of different people, a lot of great people. So I'm still kind of a little bit like a nomad, to be honest. And I'm still trying to find like core groups of people that, you know, are kind of like that lifelong friend and stuff like that. Alrighty, let's see. All right. How do I talk to the girl next to me? She's pretty. All right, so MMK. Hold on, let me get to MMK's question back in the day. Okay. Someone that's just nice and not fake. They are always loyal. They want to have fun. They are humble. Nice. I like that. Try to be mature and make their friends happy. I like that. Thank you. Thanks for sharing, MMK. All right. So, Ornithox? I love trying to figure out people's names. Ornithox? I'm Ornithox. Ornithox? Something like that. Okay. How do I talk to the girl next to me? She is pretty, but I can only talk to her before class, but it's silent AF. So everyone can hear what I say, and she always talks with her friends. And then I kind of hate you all says, just go from group to group. Oh, wait, hold on. Thanks for the advice. I think it'll really help. I'm excited to try it out. Orthodox? It's a random name I created for YouTube. That's awesome. Okay, so Ornithox, I'm gonna go with your question right now. So how do you talk to the girl next to you? She's pretty cute. But I can only talk to her before class, but it's silent and everyone can kind of hear what you're saying. Whew, goodness, I'm feeling, I feel, I'm empathizing, you know, it's uncomfortable. It's like, ooh, there's this cute girl, you know? And what happens is when we're sitting next to someone who's cute, we get all nervous, right? We get the butterflies and we're just like, oh goodness, what do I say? I don't want to screw this up. You know, I don't want to make this awkward either. I got to say the right thing. So, you know, it's funny what our mind does. You know, we go into this fear mode where we're afraid of what the other person is going to think of us, and we don't want to say the wrong thing because we don't want to get rejected. But what's kind of funny is the best thing you could do is just have a normal conversation. So easier said than done, especially with someone that we're attracted to, right? It's like if we like someone, if there's someone cute, it's hard to just be ourselves and just like, hey, how's it going? Did you get the homework assignment? You know, like, I remember, like, it feels fake because in my mind, really all I want to do is be like, dude, you're freaking cute. Like, I really like you. And I don't want to creep you out here, but I like you. You're pretty cute, you know? So, yes. So, goodness. So how do you talk to a cute girl that's, you know, maybe sitting next to you and it's quiet and she's hanging out with her friends and stuff like that? Man, that's tough. That's especially in high school, it's tough. Goodness, high school just beats you up emotionally. Because here's the thing, in the real world, when I say real world, I mean like outside of school. If I see a cute girl, you know, sometimes I will be nervous, of course. But in the real world, I kind of have more of an opportunity to approach her like, hey, I thought you're kind of cute. I just wanted to get to know you more, you know? Can I ask you out? You know, would you be open to getting some coffee sometime? Or can I have your number? You know? So the thing about in the real world is that if I meet someone on the street or whatever it is, it's easier because if she says no, oh, I already have a boyfriend. That's a popular one. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then I leave and I never see her again. But when you're at school and you're sitting next to her, you know, it can make things awkward and whatever. Let's see. So this is a little bit of a tricky one. Goodness. Goodness. I wish I had super sound advice. Like, I don't know. You might want to just Google search how to talk to a cute girl or whatever, and just kind of don't accept what someone says as a truth. Read what people are saying on Google, how to talk to someone you're attracted to. Read what they say, and then pick the ones that resonate. Pick the advice that resonates with you. Because if there's advice and it says like, oh, you know, fake it till you make it, and, you know, try to act cool, and it doesn't resonate with you, then honestly, you're probably gonna, I don't know how to say it, like, it's gonna come off really weird. That's my opinion. So find advice that resonates with you. I will give you my advice, but only take it if it resonates with you, okay? And compare it with other people's advice. So how I would talk to someone who I'm attracted to is, let me see, in high school. Goodness, this is challenging. Honestly, how I would do it in high school is different from how I would do it now. If I were in high school, what I would do is I would create small talk. That's what I would do. Because the thing is, you don't know where she stands. And so just, you know, find whatever reasons you can to create conversation. And I know you're already trying to do that, and it's tough, but just keep doing it. You know, like, it's, even if it's quiet before class, you know, just like, hey, did you get the homework assignment? Or, dude, how did you do on that test? Or I don't know, like, you got to create some sort of context that's a little bit more natural and not too forced. I don't know. Hey, did you see the Dodgers Astro Game 7? You know, like, talk about things that are relevant. Shoot, dude, did you see what happened? Did you see that fight at school? You know, like, have some sort of conversation that is easy to talk about and kind of ease your way in. That's a very different approach than what I would preach about. But I feel like that's what makes most sense. Like, my approach, literally, if I like someone, I would be like, hey, this is crazy. Sorry, this is not the conversation, but what I'm going to say is crazy, especially in high school. It's the, hey, I just thought you're cute, and, you know, I just want to talk to you more. That's so weird in a high school setting, though. I can't, that's, high school, man. High school is tough. I'm sorry, like you're screwed. Like that's all I got. You're on your own. Good luck. Goodness, man, I wish I had better advice. That's I mean, I would love if you could like show me up. I would love if you showed me up and be like, dude, Richard, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna go for it. You know, I'm just gonna ask her, hey, like, hey, I thought you were super cute, and I just how do you go from there? Because yeah, I mean, you're sitting next to her. I feel like you just got to build it up. Like you can't lay it out like that, because if she rejects you, and then there might be a certain little conversation like, oh, who's this guy, you know, and then she might have a certain impression about you, and then that might screw things up. Goodness, that's tough. I can't believe I'm countering what I say, but now you're helping me improve myself, because I realize the whole being straightforward approach probably does not really work super well in a high school setting. So yes, that's what I got there. All right, let's catch up on comments right now. La la la. You guys have been. Looks like you guys have been talking to each other. All right. Hold on. All right. All right. Hold on. Okay. I picked up her pencil once and she said thanks. I'm getting closer. There we go. That's great. That's great. You just keep knocking your pencil off. I'm just kidding. Whatever excuses that you can make. That's great. Set it up, bro. Set it up. I need help in speaking in a group. All right, Rico. We'll work on that. I'll get to that question in just a second. Your username's complicated. Yeah. That sounds creepy. No offense, though. Bro, I went to a random name generator and picked that. How is it creepy? I'm chill, dude. But shy IRL. I'm 100% different with my friends and family. Yeah, if a guy came up to me and said, hey, not to be creepy, but you're cute, it's so creepy. Unless they were cute. Yeah, in high school, it's a different, I don't know, playground, different field. It's a different battlefield. I would love it if a guy told me if I was cute. Huh. Let me see here. Ooh, that's a tough one. So, the thought I just had was, what if you just said, hey, I just want to let you know, hey, I just want to let you know that I think you're cute. That's all. You know. Now the approach is really important here, because if it depends, the intention is what's important. If your intention is just to compliment her, for the sake of complimenting her, I think that will work. However, if you're hesitating and your intention is like you want to get something out of it, like you know, possible relationship or her to like you back or something like that, then that's where it gets a little bit creepy, or can get a little bit creepy. So I guess in a way, I mean, I guess one thing you could do is you can comment on, hey, I like your whatever, I like your shirt or something. Like, keep it really simple. Like, don't go over like, hey, oh man, I love your face and your outfit's so great, your shoes, your nails, everything's so beautiful. You're so beautiful. I think that's a little bit overdoing it. So little compliments, I think, is a nice little foot in the door. So that's what I have there. I'm not allowed to date, though. My parents said no dating until you're married. What the fuck? What? How do you? That can't be true. That makes no sense. How can you not date until you're married? You're never gonna get married. Yeah, I'm not allowed to I get my master's degree. What the heck? I hope these are not true. That's I'm so sorry if that's true. If that's true and you want to date ahead, I would say, hey mom, dad, I love you, but sorry, I'm dating. I got my own life. And how do I make friends to hang out just in school, at least, because everyone seems to be in a group all the time, and if I suddenly start to talk to them, it would be awkward for me. I don't know. Okay. So if everyone's kind of in their group, let's see. Goodness. You know, I get it. I understand the challenge of fitting ourselves into a new group. What I would recommend, I don't know if you're open to this, but if you are, try joining clubs or organizations on your campus, you know? I'm pretty much, I feel like almost every single school has a bunch of clubs and organizations, and pick one where you feel like it has pretty decent people. And the reason for this is because if you join a club, it gives you a reason to spend more time with certain people, and it gives you a little bit more of an in. What else? I agree. If we, we just invite ourselves to another person's group, like, hey, what's going on? Cool people of 10 people who are already hanging out with each other. My name is Bobby. Can I join your group? It can be a little bit weird. So, I think it is okay to, if you want to join a certain group, I would approach, I don't know, you could approach one person and, make more of a connection / relationship with that one person. And then in a way, create it so they build up a relationship where, they are comfortable enough for that person to kind of introduce you or kind of get yourself into a certain group. Goodness. I got so many little behind the scene thoughts, because it's like this whole social dynamic, especially in high school and middle school, whatever, it's like it's a very, I don't know, it's like a very, it has its own rules, it has a certain dynamic. So that's what I can give to you for now. Okay, let's see. I'm going probably going to get some arranged marriage because I'm Bengali. Do you even know what Bengali is? Bengali. It's goodness. Bengali. Yeah, I've heard of Bengali. Country. Bengali. Something. I mean, feels like south. Was that like South? I was gonna say South Asian, like India, Indian, Bengali, like can't figure it out. I'm sorry, my geography and my history sucks, so it's somewhere there. Richard is still talking about the previous question. I'm sorry, like it's hard to talk. It's hard to talk and read these comments at the same time, okay? I can only do one or the other. If I read the comments, I'll get distracted and lose my train of thought, so I gotta kind of go back and forth. I'm crying because I'm happy about arranged marriage. Oh goodness. Okay. Anathox, if I'm honest, I don't know why, but clubs are cringe and I don't care about their purposes and I really don't have time for that. I work on weekends and do some vids as well. I'll work on myself, but thanks. I get it, man. I get it. I get it. That's funny. Have you heard of the it's like the anti-club club? It's the I don't want to be part of club. So that's funny. I got lucky and I was one of those cringe people that enjoyed clubs and got really involved. So if that's not your thing, that's super cool. I don't know, are there cool clubs? I don't know, like I don't know what you're into. Is there a breakdancing club? I don't know. Sports? I don't. Yeah. What else is there? You're screwed. That's all I got. Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to do clubs, that's cool. Just, I feel like you gotta have the courage to, find certain people, create small. This is where small talk is a little bit important. It's like you gotta create connection with that one person, or if you're confident enough, you could approach the whole freaking group and win their hearts over. But that takes a lot of courage. I think winning one person's heart over in a group will be the gateway to hanging out with the whole entire group. So I think that's another thing you could do. I remember doing this in high school. I would meet one person, and I'm a newbie in this group that's already been established, and I'd be like, hey, what's going on? Like, sometimes I'll just say, hey, what's your name? Like, oh, sweet. Like, I've seen you around. What classes do you have? Like, have small talk. And then once you feel comfortable enough, you could start it like kind of pulling other people in the group into into the conversation. Like, hey, like, wait a second, I know you too. And whatever, you can make a joke, whatever it is, like whatever feels natural to you, and just have fun with it. People like to just enjoy and have fun. So test it out, and I don't know if there's a certain group, like the the perfect ideal group you want to be part of, but you're nervous to test things out. I know this sounds kind of mean, but test it out in another group. Do a little practice run with someone else. And God, that sounds so mean. Like, that doesn't even feel right. But do it authentically in another group that you might be interested in, but maybe not as much as this other group. So I'm just being real. Like, these are my real thoughts. I think that's a very practical tip and advice to do. So hope that helps. All right, let's see. All right, we got the South Asian. Yes. Bengali makes Nike shoes, right? Let's see. All right. Let's see. I have twins. I have a twin sister. I am always thinking about having sex with my twin. One time we had sex after high school, and I can't seem to having feeling towards anyone but my sister. How do I get over her? Good luck. Good luck, brother. Good luck. It was a one-time thing, but I just replayed it over and over in my head. I cannot tell the level of troll. I mean, I can't judge, I can't tell if troll, judge, who knows? I mean, this world is full of a lot of different cultures and people, so I'm just gonna say I keep working on it. That's what I got for you. Let's see. I can talk one-on-one easily, like on work break, but in school it's harder to be one-on-one. Well, Unorthodox, I think in terms of school, just go for it, Like, I get it might be tougher to do one-on-one at school, but if you want to make friends in school, you got to put yourself out there. It's not always going to be easy, but that's what we got to do if we want to fit in. Not necessarily just fit in, but meet new people and find our group of friends. Is we got to put ourselves out there, and we got to risk ourselves. We have to risk being rejected. I'm reflecting back at my high school, and I never got into the quote unquote cool group of people. I used to be part of the cool group in middle school, cool group, quote unquote. But once I got to high school, I don't know, it just felt like I felt a little bit off there. Like, it didn't quite feel right, so I didn't fit in with the quote unquote cool kids. So I found, group B. I found group C. I found these other groups, and I hung out with them. So that's kind of my story. Let's see. All right. I love her so much, but I know it's wrong. Okay. All right. Just make yourself believe that you're the most important person on earth, and that'll boost your confidence. Most important person on earth? I don't know about that one. I think there's a difference between confidence and cockiness. It's which way do you... Chantal, I don't know if that's like a legit or humorous comment. But I'll give my thoughts anyway. If you want to boost your confidence, I think making yourself feel like you're the most important person on earth is a very egotistical and self-centered way. And I don't mean that in a negative, like a bad way, but it's very self-centered, and this person is gonna end up trying to come off as cocky and better than everyone else. And if that happens, I think it does work to be kind of quote unquote cool, but that person is going to end up kind of hating themselves for being fake and not being their true self. So that's kind of my thoughts around that. Okay. Another question I have is, how can I stand up to my strict brown parents? Oh goodness, that's a great question. How do you stand up to your strict brown parents? Look, I'm Asian. I get it. I got immigrant parents. I live in America right now, near Los Angeles, but my parents immigrated from Taiwan. I totally understand that brown parents, similar to many Asian parents, but brown parents especially they could be very, very strict. Very, very traditional, not open to new ideas. Everything has to be their way. So in terms of standing up to them, goodness, this is a challenging thing. It's one of those, like, partially, I would say part of it is like, it's finding a balance of respecting them, but also, because I'm going to be real, like, this new generation, us we are a new generation. You know, we want to start doing our own things, and it's kind of, we got to pick and choose our battles. You know, I feel like part of it is we get to respect our parents, but at the same time we get to carve our own path. You know, we get to, if there's something that we know that's in our hearts, you know, it's something that we want to do. Like, let's say you want to be in a relationship, but your parents don't want you to. That's a really good example, because I think a lot of traditional parents would say no. But if you feel like there's something right here, you know, like this is the right moment. This is a great person. I'm not just doing this for stupid reasons. Like, I feel something here and I feel like it's worth it. Then, I don't know. It's tough. It's like you just gotta pick your battle, and if it's worth it enough to you, honestly, not to be disrespectful to your parents, but you get to stand up for yourself in those cases. I remember the one time my parents massively disagreed was with going into cringe clubs. I wanted to become a lieutenant governor for Key Club, which just means I was in charge of 10 different high schools' Key Clubs. My grades weren't very good, and my mom was just straight up like, no, I'm not going to let you do it. You know, I'm not going to sign the paperwork, because in this position you need parents to sign the paperwork in order for you to do it. And I'm like, dude, Ma, like, I'm doing it no matter what. Like, you can't say no. Even though you know you have to sign it, you can't say no. And I kept arguing with her, you know, over and over for like 1 or 2 weeks straight, every single day. I'm like, Ma, like, you know, this is one thing that I really want to do in my life. You know, like, please don't stop me from doing this. And I was super persistent, and you know, we just kept arguing, and eventually she got so like frustrated and angry and all that stuff. She talked to, you know, my brother and sister, and I'm so glad that they were a little bit more on my side and said, like, hey, you know, this is Richard's life, he really wants to do it, please, you know, just let him do it. So I did have a little bit of help there, but at the end of the day, I stood my ground for what I really believed in and what I really want to do. And my mom eventually said, okay, you know what, fine. You know, your grades suck. I told her, I'm like, they're going to suck regardless. If I don't do it, if I don't become LTG, Lieutenant Governor, my grades are still going to suck. So she let me do it. So that's just an example of sometimes we just got to stand up for what we want. My first girlfriend, same thing. It was during my AP exams, advanced placement exams. And my mom's like, no, you cannot. You are not allowed to have a girlfriend. And what I do? Got a girlfriend anyway, you know, because I knew she was a great person, and you know, she was one of my best friends at the time. And yeah, so I did it anyway, because that's what I felt like was the right thing for me to do, and I'm so glad I did. It would have been stupid for me for her not to be my girlfriend. We ended up being together for 3 years, and she's still we did break up, but she's still one of my best friends today. So there you go. You know, you just got to feel it out. You got to feel out if it's genuinely in your heart, you're like, I want to do this, then you got to do it. That's my opinion. Okay? And don't tell your parents I told you that. Yeah. Don't tell my YouTube channel too. Thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah, this is all just advice. Remember, you're the ones making the decision, not me, okay? I'm not influencing you. I'm just giving you opinions. You take it if you want or not. All right. Rico Solis. I'm so sorry, Rico. Let's see. Goodness, I gotta find your question again. Sorry. I know you might have to repeat. I'm looking for I'm like scrolling all the way back. Let's see. Oh, need help speaking in a group. Okay, Rico. We're gonna get there right now. I'm sorry. Okay, so I will get to your questions. I will get to them. So right now I'm on the comment, are you gonna answer my question? At 9:33 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So yes, I'm going to answer a question right now, which is how do you speak better in groups? Practice. I know you hate the answer. You want like a quick fix answer. I'll try to give you as much as I can here. So how do you speak in groups? Practice. Speaking in groups. I need a little bit more context here. Like give me some context, okay? Give me context in what kind of group setting do you want to speak better in? Is it friends? Is it a presentation? So let me know, okay? We're going to come back to that. So Rico Solis, let me know where you want to speak better in. Okay, boosting confidence definitely takes practice. You have to fake it till you make it. Let's see. So, fake it till you make it. I like this phrase and I hate this phrase. So, I like I like it in the sense that you just gotta push yourself. You know, push yourself until it clicks. But the other half that I don't like is I don't agree with this whole idea of being fake. You know, just not being yourself. I don't know. I'm always about being authentic. So fake it till you make it. I think it could be misinterpreted in the wrong way, and I think the right way to do it is just know in the bottom of your heart that you generally are good enough. You know, that you generally do deserve whatever it is that you want, whether it's being in this group of people, because I don't know how to say it. Like, we are, by nature, we are all worthy. You know, we are all equal as human beings. No one is better than the other person. Your brown parents are not better than you. You know, in their culture, maybe, you know, maybe they are. They're supposed to be respected and all that stuff, and you know, show respect. Cool. But I see everyone as an equal. You know, or at least I try to. And you know, I'm not perfect, but like my parents are my equal. You know, when I mentor middle school boys, they are my equal. You know, I'm not better than them. So when you hang out with the quote unquote cool kids, they are your equals. They are not better than you. You know, let's say there is this super awkward kid at your school. They're not less than you. You know, they're same level. So that's kind of one thing that I practice and I continue to work on, is treating everyone as an equal. And because everyone is equal, you know, just because someone's rich or poor, you know, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You like, doesn't matter what race, sex, everything like that. It's just, I always practice this mindset of equals. So that's what I have there. All right. All right. The biggest question I've never really had an answer to is what the heck I wanted to do with my life. I have plenty of hobbies I enjoy, but as far as my grand scheme purpose, I don't know. That's one of those things that, you know, I think a lot of us struggle with finding out. All right, hold on. Quick pause. Howl runner. That question about the grand scheme of things and purpose of life, we'll get back to that in just a second. I get to answer Rico Salas' question because he's been waiting for a long time. Is how do I become a better speaker with friends? Doing a doing a presentation real soon, like next week. Okay, so those are two different questions. I'll answer both of them. How do you become a better speaker with your friends, and how do you be a better speaker, like a presenter in front of let's say a classroom? So how do you be a better speaker with your friends? I almost feel like the best advice I can give you is, if you want to be a better speaker to your friends, a better influencer, listen more. That's what I got. Listen more. Listen to your friends. Open up your ears and just listen. Stop talking and just listen. I think the best influencers are those who genuinely care about other people. You know, they're not just the ones talking. So yeah, that's all. That's what I got. If you want to be a good friend, if you want people to like you or whatever it is, just listen. You know, they say like the sweetest word in the, we'll call it the English language, or you know, the world language, is someone's name. You know, it's their name. So if you say their name, that's like the sweetest word that I could hear. And pretty much what that means is people care about themselves in a way. People are inherently selfish, something like that. You know, they want to know that you're listening. They want to be heard. So I, you know, give them that respect of being heard. And you know, like, I'm definitely not saying be a people pleaser, but just listen. You know, what do other people want? And when we understand other people, then we can better be a friend to them, if that makes sense. Of course, you get to share your own opinions and perspectives and fun little stories and facts. Have that balance. So that's what I got there. All right. Second part is how do you be a better presenter? So how do you be a better presenter? Like in front of a classroom. How do you be a better presenter? Let's see. How to be a better presenter. I mean, simple stuff like just be prepared for your presentation, of course. It's like I'm just putting myself back into that nervous position. You know, right before presentation, I get really nervous, and that's very natural. You know, it's hard to avoid that. But honestly, it's counterintuitive. The best way to have a good presentation is to let go of that nervousness. It's to be calm and just trust that everything is going to be okay. You know, and even if it doesn't go okay, that's okay. You know, it's an opportunity to learn. It's not the end of the world. So how you be a better presenter is, I don't know how to say this. It's like, and this is a true fact. You have all the tools already to have a great presentation, and you have the great presentation inside of you already. It's just, you got to learn how to dig it out of yourself. So you have it there. And yes, you do need to practice to a certain level to know what you're going to say. And I would say practice. And once you get that down, focus on just, I don't know how to say it, like just letting, this is a tough one. I want to say focus on letting go, but that's tough, especially for like a high school presentation. I want to say just go with the flow. That's why I say go with the flow. So if you mess up, I don't know how to say this, like, don't feel embarrassed. What I do is, if I mess up during my own presentation, I play along with it. Like, a quick example is, during my presentation, I was speaking on stage in front of like 300 people, and the microphone just went like, you know, like made this crazy loud sound, and then I'm just like, thunder, 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 you know, like Thunder, the song from Imagine Dragons, you know, whatever. So people we just laughed it off, you know, just have fun with it. Don't, I don't know how to say this, don't, this is tough. It takes practice. Just know that presenting takes practice. So don't be so hard on yourself, is what I have to say. You know, practice a lot and just go for it. Have fun with it. Know this is just an opportunity. You don't have to be perfect. And that's what I got. Just the more you can just feel relaxed and take the pressure off of yourself. That's what I got. Take the pressure off yourself. This is just practice, even though you're being graded for it or whatever. And you only have so many opportunities to speak. In your lifetime, you'll have plenty of more opportunities. Trust me. So this is just practice. Okay. All right. Alrighty, let's see. Ooh, I see lots of comments. Guys, I will get your comments. They will be one at a time, though. Okay, so I'm going to Hal Runners. Not knowing what the grand scheme of things in life is, like what is the big life purpose? You have lots of hobbies, but what is the purpose of life? That's a great question. You know, it's one of those things that as human beings, we're always curious and trying to figure out. You know, adults are still trying to figure that out. Tons of adults. I almost feel like most adults don't understand what the purpose of life is. However, even if they don't understand what the purpose of life is, like I asked my mom this question. Hey mom, what's the purpose of life? And then she just gave me one of those like go away, you know, go away, Richard. And I was like, wait, no, I'm serious. Like, what is the purpose of life? And then, you know, finally she's like, the purpose of life is to have children, raise them, and, you know, make sure that they do well. And I remember in my head, I'm just like, what? How's that the purpose of life? Like, so my purpose of life is to have children and raise them, and so they could do the same stupid cycle, and then my children could have children and they could raise them. I'm like, that sounds ridiculous. Like, why? That doesn't sound like fun. Like, that doesn't seem like it has meaning. So my point in bringing up my parents is, as adults, not everyone knows what the purpose of life is. So it's okay if you don't know what the grand scheme of things is right now. Enjoy your hobbies. Honestly, the key thing, my answer to what is the purpose of life is to be authentically happy. Just find moments that bring you happiness and joy, because at the end of the day, if you're happy, you're just enjoying your life, then that's all. Like, that's all there is to it. Just be happy, you know? If your whole life you're just happy, it doesn't matter what else happens. Like, that's my opinion, you know? It's as long as you're happy. That's what I got. As long as you're happy. Find the right balance between short-term happiness and long-term happiness. There is, you know, at some point in life, you gotta, I don't know, if you're living off your parents' money or whatever, under your parents' roof, you know, is there a certain time that they're going to kick you out? Probably. And once they kind of kick you out or whatever, You know, you got to think about what you have to do to sustain yourself, you know, with money, or do you need money to survive? Who knows? And what are you going to do for fun? You know, like, how do you find that balance? So keep having fun for now. And honestly, I feel like the more you live your life, the more experiences that you have in your life, the more you'll start to understand what is your purpose in life. For me personally, my purpose is to help teens and young adults build up their self-esteem, you know, to get past their insecurities, and to create possibilities, to see other possibilities in their lives and just be happy. So that's what I have, and that's why I make these YouTube videos all the time. All right, cool. All right, so I hope that helps. If you have more follow-up questions, let me know. All right, I can hit you all. I feel the same way, but the only way to find out what you want to do is to explore and discover new careers. Yeah, I agree. Just explore, try new things. Most people go through tons of different careers, as have I. I've gone through at least, I don't know how many jobs. I've done at least, I want to say 10 different jobs. I don't know. Here, let's list them real quickly. I've dabbled into retail, retail management, marketing, advertising, social media, entertainment, wedding photography, speaking, coaching, wedding MC, what was it? Sales, network marketing. So, I mean, that's already 11. There's other ones. I can't even think of everything that I've done. So, at least just explore, you know, try new things. And if there's something you don't like, just, you know, move on to the next one. If there's potential, stay there, stay in this company or whatever it is, and try it out a little bit. And if it doesn't seem like it clicks well, move on. All right. I have a question for you, Richard. How did you know that you wanted to do what you're doing now? So how I got to becoming a speaker and make YouTube videos and stuff like that, it was kind of like this self-reflection. It's like, what vibes with me? You know, what resonates with me? What makes me feel good? And helping people, because I was one of those club geeks. You know, I was in a bunch of community service clubs in high school. I became the president of my residence hall in college. Was it a RA, a residential advisor? You know, like you're in charge of like a freshman dorm, and you lead with programs and you mentor kids and things like that. So I've done a lot of leadership. So that let me know, that planted the seed that I wanted to help people. Why I talk about self-esteem and insecurities a lot is because that's what I faced in high school. And on top of that, what I realized, to me, the biggest cheat in what I do is, as human beings, we're constantly dealing with insecurities. I'm dealing with insecurities today, in this moment right now. So why I picked self-esteem to be my main topic that I talk about is because I'm freaking dealing with it right now. So it's such a cheat. It's like I get to work on myself while helping you, you know, like in this live stream, you know, things came up for me. Like, sorry, I don't remember who asked the questions. But high school, talking about the girl, you know, having a crush on someone. What do you do? What I realized, what I learned today on this live stream right now is that I'm not always right. You know, one of you unintentionally called me out on, oh shoot, my way of being completely 100% transparent doesn't work for high school. Because I'd be like, hey, I like you. Do you want to go on a date? That doesn't work in a high school setting. It really doesn't. That will creep people out. So you called me out there. So thank you. That's why I do the work I do, because I'm constantly growing, learning, and delivering value to other people. So it's kind of like a win-win-win, and it feels good. It's productive. I know in my heart it's in alignment with my vision and kind of who I am as a person. So yeah, that's how I know what I want to do today. Life coaching was my original platform. Speaking YouTube is more platforms, and the speaking and YouTube, these are just platforms to communicate with all of you. You know, these are that's it. It's just a platform to communicate. You know, it's a way to get the message across, to have conversations. I use them because they're natural. I love live stream because you know you all could ask questions and we can interact, and I appreciate that a lot. All right. And here, before I continue, I know this is kind of a little bit of an aside, but I'm going to open up a little bit. So honestly, I think subconsciously, or something that I don't bring up to the front of my conscious mind a lot, is I feel like another reason why I'm a speaker slash I have a YouTube channel is partially it might be because of ego. You know, I don't know, but partially it might be because of ego. Because when I step on stage, people are focusing on me. When I do a YouTube video or a live stream, people are focused on me. I know that sounds really bad, but I feel like as much as I don't want that to be the focus, honestly, like I don't want that to be the focus. But I think there's a part of me, my ego, that likes that attention. Even though in my, like, it's such a conflict because there's a part of me that hates myself for having that ego, for wanting, liking that attention, because I know it's not about me. So I struggle with that till this day. I have not figured out the solution, and I'm still working through it because I have other friends who are of service, and you know they don't have I want to be like them, where I don't have that ego where it's about me. So I'm still working through that conversation, but I just want to be, you know, very transparent and open. That's where I'm at in my journey, and I'm still working through it because that's what I got. Like when I go to schools, I want to speak for the students 100%, and I always try my best to do that, but I'm still working through it. So that's what I have there. Okay, wow, lots of talking. All right, where are we at? Okay, here, friends, let's see. How do you become friends with a past ex? I don't know, I feel like I'm just kind of that person. My ex, we were already friends. You know, we already were on the same page, like very open people. So that's how I became friends with my ex. Does it work for everyone? I don't think it works for everyone, but here's what I have to say. If you get into a relationship with someone, like boyfriend, girlfriend, and if you want to become more serious or long-term, honestly, I feel like you should, this is my belief, I believe you should only quote-unquote marry or be in a relationship with someone that you would consider your best friend. Because if they're not your best friend, I don't think the relationship will really work. Because, does that make sense? Like, you want to marry your best friend. You want to share life with someone that you truly connect with and are friends with. So in that sense, if I had an ex and, you know, she was my best friend and we broke up, she's still gonna be my best friend, or at least a friend, because you know, we still share similar values. It's just certain things just maybe didn't quite fit in terms of a romantic relationship. All right. All right. Chantal Mac. Okay. Oh, I have a question. When I give a presentation, my lips just start shaking or something, and I talk really fast, then take a deep breath. How can I control that from happening and be relaxed? So if your lips start shaking and you know you're trembling and you're stuttering and using filler words like I use filler words all the time, by the way. Look, I just did it again. So I need to work on the filler words. But in terms of when your lips start shaking, honestly, it's a little bit of a practice, building up that confidence. And here's something that helps a lot with presentations is what I realize is when I speak, remember whatever you're presenting on, it's not about you. I'm going to repeat that. It's not about you. Okay? The presentation is not about you. It's about the message that you're giving. If you're doing a simple presentation like a book report or something for a class, it's not about you. It's about the information, you know? Focus on delivering the information properly to the audience. And if you focus your attention on on your information, the book report, whatever it is, your presentation, you're not going to be nervous because it's not about you. You know, people aren't, you know, don't focus on how you look. Focus on the presentation and what value are you delivering to other people. So that's what I have. I feel like I hope you can kind of like listen in between the lines a little bit because there's a lot there. but it's going to take a much deeper, longer conversation to fully talk about everything if you have questions around it. So hope that gives a little bit of baseline, and we can dive a little bit deeper if you're a little bit confused. Okay. All right, where are we at? You're sexy, Markson20. You're sexy too. I hate you all. I didn't mean that. You're forcing me to say I hate you all. Yes, everyone on here is sexy. That's what I. Cloris, half the time for my experience, it happens when I shake a little once I present in front of the audience. Okay. Have a great perspective with your speech, the representation. Okay. Hal Runner, thanks, Richard. It made me happy just hearing someone else say what their authentic purpose is refreshing. You're welcome. Caloris, how to overcome barriers. Let's see. Caloris, if you want, if that is a question, you get to be a little bit more specific on that one. Okay. What kind of barriers? Onathox, I procrastinate with schoolwork like every week. I say that I'll work, but do nothing but make vids, sleep, or watch YouTube. Okay, same. I think about doing schoolwork a lot, but I never take action. I don't understand why. It's been happening for years, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I want friends I can talk with every day. Na, 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 na. Ooh, you retracting a message. 25 male here. Been in a few different fields over the years, and I have recently taken up property building, blasters, lightsabers, etc. Prop building. Okay, I got it. And it makes me feel so alive when I get to work with my hands. That's awesome. Then play around with that. I don't know how to say this, but it's like sometimes, I feel like if we are creative enough, there is always a way to monetize what we're doing. From a lot of successful entrepreneurs say this. And I'm not saying myself here. I'm saying like really successful millionaires always say this, and I don't fully practice it, and I'm working on it. But what successful millionaires say, like Grant Cardone, he says that entrepreneurs, what they do is they solve people's problems. They're problem solvers. If they see someone has a problem, what entrepreneurs do is they find a solution to fix it. So, let's say you love prop building, building lightsabers or blasters or something like that. Is there a way to turn that into a certain solution for people? Let's say, there's obviously toy lightsabers. Everyone has those. But is there a way that you could find people who are like, man, I don't want something that's boring and unoriginal. I want something that's custom. Can you fulfill the market for building custom lightsabers for people that are super cool? So it's about finding and fixing a problem that people have. So that's what I got there. All right, I'm saving for my own 3D printer, and then I will start building the cell. That's awesome. That's where I want to go. Okay, can you mod me, please? And are you Korean? I'm not Korean. How do you do that? Why should I, what does modding do, and why? Let me know about that. All right. All right, Chantal. Yeah, thanks. I understand. Wow, I just realized that I had always thought it was about me instead of what I'm actually presenting. Oh my God, thank you so much. I'll make sure to practice. Awesome. Excellent. Cool. Yes. Cool. Awesome. Everyone, thanks so much for hanging out, asking questions. I love and appreciate all the questions that y'all ask. This definitely keeps the conversation going, makes it interesting, and gives me something to talk about. I appreciate the opportunity to always express my thoughts, and thank you for giving me this platform to do so. Obviously, we've been on for almost an hour and a half now. And I appreciate all of you for kind of sticking around, asking questions, and engaging. I always, appreciate this and enjoy it. So awesome. And because of people like you, it makes me want to do more YouTube lives, or just live streams in general. So this is my third day doing it in a row. I didn't know I was going to do three days in a row. And if you want, I can continue doing these for you. So if you find them helpful, then yeah, let's keep doing them. So I'm still kind of feeling out. I'm currently, what's tomorrow? Tomorrow is Sunday. I have a feeling I'll be on tomorrow night. What time? I haven't chosen a time, but I'm gonna guess around 8 or 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And remember, I don't know where you are in the world, but we have what's called daylight savings. So, fall back. So we go back 1 hour too. So 8 or 9 p.m. Remember, we go back an hour. So I don't know if that some parts of the world, that affects it. So that's what I got. All right, cool. Ban timeout and remove comments and trolls. Onathox, let's see. Cool. I don't know if I mod you for this one. Do you stay on forever, or is that just for this conversation? But I mean, this conversation's pretty much over, so we could have that conversation in future ones. So far, I mean, comment wise, it looks like people are being fairly respectful, so that's not too big of a concern for me right now. Chantal, you're welcome, and thank you for your time as well, just hopping on. I live for this, so I appreciate it a lot. You guys are good. It's 1:05 where I am. 1:05, is that PM? I imagine that's PM, because 1 a.m. would be close here. Oh, you're in New York City. Oh, nice. Shoot. So yeah, it's 1:05 a.m. Got it. Same but south of you. Cool. Forever, Pennsylvania. 106. Oh, that's awesome. All right, everyone, cool. Thanks so much for hopping on, and enjoy your evening. I am going to leave this with a final thought that I haven't come up with yet, but I'd like to just kind of leave it with a question or thought or something to ponder. All right, this is what I'm going to leave this this live stream with. The question I want you to think about is, in this moment right now, what are you grateful for? And if you don't feel like you're grateful for anything, what could you be grateful for? Okay? So I want you to think about at least 3 things. In this moment, what are at least 3 things you are grateful for? And if you don't feel grateful for anything, what could you be grateful for? Okay? So I'm going to leave you with that, and I will express my thoughts right now, so maybe your gears will turn a little bit. For me, what I'm grateful for is, in this moment, is the opportunity to connect with all of you. I'm grateful that, I have this technology. I just got an iPhone 7 Plus. It's pre-owned, certified pre-owned, which means I got it for cheaper. But it's nice. It's nice to have this technology, to have, internet that I get to connect with you. Being 2017, we're able to do things like, YouTube lives and stream and talk to people halfway across the country, and halfway across the world too. That's super cool. So I'm very grateful for that. I'm grateful that I have great health. That even though I am not 100% respectful of my body in terms of the food that I eat, I eat a little bit of trash. I don't exercise enough yet. I am getting on that. But the fact that I don't have, crazy chronic illnesses, I don't have cancer, I don't have whatever, I'm not blind, like I have full limbs that I could use, and my mind is still intact. Of course, it's not perfect, but it's intact. It's able to process information. I'm grateful that I get to do work that aligns with the person that I am. And I'm grateful for my dad. I live with my dad. I take care of him. He has dementia, which is like, he has memory loss, poor judgment. It's very frustrating to deal with a lot of the times, every single day. But I'm grateful that he's alive, and that I get to spend time with him, even when it's frustrating. Because I know my dad's not going to be here forever, and I know that not everyone has a father. So that's what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for good weather, this environment that I have. I'm grateful to be in Southern California. I'm grateful to have freaking water. I can't believe I didn't take a drink of water yet. So that's how engaged we were. And I'm grateful that, my passion, speaking, all this kind of stuff is, generates enough income, speaking mostly, to support me and for me to live a life that I enjoy and stuff like that. Okay, so those are 3 things that I'm grateful for. Now back to you. What are 3 things that you're grateful for? And if you don't feel grateful right now in this moment, what could you be grateful for? Okay. Thanks again for tuning in. All right. Take care. Love you all. Peace out. Oh, hold up. I'm grateful for TV dramas, food, and my family. Boom. Awesome. All right. Cool. Think about it. And you can comment below if you want on what you're grateful for too. But I'm going to end the stream right now. Take care. Peace out. I'm grateful for... Troll. Moderator. We need a moderator right now. That's why we need a moderator for... Actually, I don't know. Maybe that's a true gratitude. All right. Peace out.